very strong position in terms of this being a modernist layout. The Esplanade is too wide. You could make it narrower, and then you could actually adjust some of those fine-tuning questions that have come up around double fronting, single wooded corridor. So that's just, it's a comment, you don't have to respond to it. I think that, you know, I agree, I think it's good to emphasize the view, but you should show us what those views are like at ground level, and I think once you start doing more of those little sort of rendering type things, you'll start to realize, oh, the Esplanade is...
Well, it's narrower than the Panhandle in San Francisco.
Okay.
And we did actually, it's too wide. I mean, we had a very strong reason for making it that wide, actually. We really wanted to get sports facilities in there, so we actually sized it such that you could get a multi-purpose playing field in the middle, and we didn't want it to just be a linear park. We wanted it to be pocket parks along, so we've actually, it's more detailing than present, but we've actually put...
But the framing of the space, I guess, Nick is right, is, and that's what we were talking about, is how do you frame that space and how is it experienced in terms of enclosure or opening? But that's the next phase. This is the first master plan. And thank you very much.
We have one.
A quick one.
So yeah, I really appreciate that you were able, as Mr. Silvestre said, to spread the social housing on the site and the diversity of housing types as well. My question was about social housing. How do you see that functioning with the social housing right on Mill and Bridge? Is that a concern for you?
The plurality of the social housing on Bridge is actually facing onto the park. Simply 2 units over top of the retail to give a better use of land than simply single floor retail. So most of the social housing then is block of apartments fronting directly onto the park here, elevated apartment fronting onto the park here. In terms of being on Mill, primary orientation of the building, of most of the units, is into the park here rather than out on the street. While being double barrel, we did try to give ample green space, which is, I imagine, the best use of land you can in a situation where you have a street lake mill on the edge of the site.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, Igor, and then sugar coffee.
We can't have it.
Really?
Thank you.
We're welcoming students from Nick Lucas' class.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
The architects are amazing. Start. Yeah.
Good afternoon, my name is Kate, and this is Alana. Our group members are Kayla, Kim, and Daniela, and we are ADK. Today, myself and Daniela will present on behalf of our group a preliminary development plan for Point Wellington. Kim, Kayla, and Daniela will join us later to answer questions. I will focus on our vision of Point Wellington, our driving concepts, features, and characteristics associated with our site. Alana will then follow up with a presentation on the financial and feasible aspects of our project. The name Point Wellington stems from where the chemin de fer meets the Ave. It is the metaphor for the point at which the rich industrial past and heritage of our site, as well as its connections to the Lachine Channel, links to the rest of the city. Our mandate was to create a preliminary development plan of a financial viable community for the Wellington Basin site, currently owned by Canada Lands Company. We were also asked to take into consideration some of the City of Montreal's housing development requirements, such as 15% social housing, 15% affordable housing, and 10% of the land being dedicated as public park. After careful consideration and research, and through examination of market needs and other data, we decided to gear our developments towards young professionals, empty nesters, and young families. We felt that there was an ideal target demographics for the area, and we believe that the modern and industrial design of the area alongside the proximity to downtown core would be an attractive feature to young professionals. On that note, empty nesters and families that would prefer to be outside of the city's hustle and bustle, but would still wish to reside close to Montreal, would also find this an ideal location. We envision our site as becoming a new anchor for the area. Our intent is to celebrate the rich industrial heritage of the site, strengthen its connections to its surroundings, and to the greater Montreal area. Our driving force was to maximize the quality of housing, offer a public space that would enhance and better the lives of the future residents while fostering a sense of community and place. Our concept for Point Wellington concentrates along maximizing housing units, centralizing, we have the units around here, here, and here. And we also wanted to offer public space that along a central linear park, which would link the site from Bridge Street to the canal, and also provide beautiful views of the bassin and of Montreal downtown skyline. Lastly, in addition to our concept, we would allow several north-south connections to the canal, and we accomplished this in the following master plan. After working on the concepts and logistics, we compiled the following key factors to take into considerations: unit size, unit numbers, the building density, and we also took into consideration the relationship between buildings and the relationship between the buildings and the public space, and sustainable features, and let's not forget aesthetics. The result of our conceptual analysis is the master plan for the new Point Wellington development. The site features different features such as our linear park, which runs along our site. We have a new enlarged water basin, the Wellington Basin, which is redeveloped. We took, it only had one murray on one side, and we added a new structure on the other side and strengthened the structure. We have 3 to 12-story buildings, 1 to 2 and 3 bedroom condominiums, 72 3-bedroom triplexes at around 1,600 square feet each, and new streets, which are the Rue du Havre, Rue du Chemin de Fer, Rue du Stylo, and Rue des Moulins. We named them in relation to the directions that they face. Rue du Havre goes towards the canal, and Rue du Chemin de Fer leads you towards the railroads. Du Moulin leads you towards the Fabian Fibers. Some other features are the social housing units, which are facing our linear park and offering them the best views possible, and green terraces and a parking garage along Rue Mill. And this is a 3D view of our site. It shows the different densities and our central axis that which we centered our buildings along. In terms of of building heights, our buildings range from 3-story triplexes, which are located around here, and a 3-story parking garage, to a 12-story condominium, which is the luxury condominium located along the canal. Our buildings are arranged to maximize the views of the park, the skyline, the basin, and the canal. The land use of our site is predominantly residential, with some commercial along Rue Mill and Rue Bridge, which is across from the Costco. They are medium density buildings, except for the triplex, which are low density. To ensure the creation of environmentally friendly and sustainable design, we decided to emphasize and work alongside the basin by creating long, wide, linear parks, which run along from Bridge Street to the canal. And this park is a mix of grassy area, mist fountains, green lawns, and plazas. We also provided condos with ample green spaces inside courtyards and along the canal, railroad, and facing the existing park. Furthermore, we foresee the structures having large windows facing the canals and the downtown for skylines, which would allow natural lighting and in tune have energy efficient fenestrations. As mentioned, the linear park is a key feature of our design. We might bring some to wonder about the public and private divide. We accounted for this design of the park, which emphasizes the directional to the canal, and this created a subconscious barrier which discourages non-residents from entering the private property. Some other key features of our site includes a hotel, which is Hotel Wellington, not the W. Rooftop gardens, rainwater channels which would run along the north-south directions, and also a waterfront park which would be added on to the existing park, which belongs to Parks Canada, and multimodal trails which would run along the railroad tracks. Here's a rendering of our Hotel Wellington, which would be situated along Rue Bridge. It would face the Costco and possible future development. And these are some of the spaces we envision. This is the view from the other side of the canal looking into our plaza. There's a plaza over here which has misting fountains for children to play and interact. And you also have green space along with trails, a new bridge that we would reconstruct. And there's also a 12-story luxury condominium, which would be the moneymaker. And now, these are our triplex units, which is an example of the family housing types. And here we have the linear park with the emphasis of the new canal. And now I'll pass it on to Lana, which will talk about the financial feasibility of our project.
Okay, so as Kate just discussed, buildings are between 3 and 12 stories high under our plan. And these include triplexes, a parking garage, condos, and commercial space that will be on the lower floors of some of the condo buildings right over here on the bridge. We placed commercial space on Bridge Street because it is across from an already existing commercial structure, which is the Costco. And we also believe there's quite a bit of potential for future commercial activity in the area along Mill Street and Bridge Street as well. And in addition to that, it's also easily accessible to people from the outside, so it's not just catering to people within our development, but also to people in the surrounding areas. The ratio between public and private space for our development is 78% private space and 22% public space. And the housing ratios for our development plan is 97.58% residential and 2.42% commercial. So you can see from what Kate has mentioned as well, that it's still very much largely a residential development that we've made here. The number of units, the percentage of the units on our plan is 15% affordable, 13% is designated as social housing, and 72% will be housing sold at market rate. Now to get into financial feasibility a little bit, as you can see from our happy Monopoly man.
Happy banker.
Yeah, we have a return on investment of about 36%, and that translates into about $186.8 million, a little bit more than that. So we will be making that much on our return on investment. So we thought that was quite good. And now we'll talk a little bit about how we came to this return. We've priced the average affordable housing. This is based on a 2-bedroom unit of approximately 900 square feet at $2,368 per square meter. Average price for medium housing would be $3,766 per square meter. And then for luxury housing, it would be $4,835 per square meter. And we hope to sell up to, this is based also on 220 units per year. So we base this pricing on current market trends, and the total number of units on our current plan is 2,477. And now I'll talk a little bit about phasing. There are 8 phases in our plan. It will happen over the course of 10 years. And upon the completion of each phase per year, a new phase begins, and that's why it takes about 10 years to complete. And phasing, apart from making the project more financially feasible, it will also help to avoid the oversupply of housing in any given year to ensure that we do sell off units. In phase 1, I won't go through everything that we're doing, but I'll just highlight a few things. In phase 1, the street infrastructure will begin, and we will actually complete most of it in the first year. And we will also begin construction of the linear park, and we will complete social housing. And social housing, as Kate mentioned, is right over there. In phase 2, we will complete the remainder of the street network, and we will continue development of the linear park. In phase 4, all park space and public infrastructure will be completed, and we will also complete the boutique hotel and first commercial facility on the mill, right down here. On the bridge, sorry. The most costly phase is phase 5, and these are the luxury units right up here, and that's $96.7 million, but this is also the most profitable phase because it is the luxury units. And these are taller buildings that offer views of the downtown of the canal. And phase 5, we wanted to do this structure at phase 5 because it was too expensive of a project to start early on in the development. We wanted to accumulate some of the revenue from smaller projects first. And in phase 6, we will complete the condos and the commercial facility on Bridge Street. So this is kind of a timeline. I can go through this fairly quickly. These are the milestones, most of which have been completed now. So in November 2010, the CLC acquired the land, the Wellington Basin land. And in January 2013, we did our site analysis, followed by our concept plan development. And we just completed our cost analysis of pro forma. And right now, we're in the process of submitting the proposal to the CLC for approval. And hopefully, in spring 2013, we can commence the preparation for the development.
I love it.
That's great. And now, moving forward, I just wanted to note that the site is situated within several jurisdictional boundaries. So any development that occurs along the canal will require the involvement of Parks Canada due to its designation as a National Historic Site. And we will also include the Southwest Borough Council and the city's planning department.
And now we welcome Kayla, Kim, and Daniela to answer questions.
Say very well, sir. Very well structured. Great presentation. Congratulations.
For someone that's been looking at this property for a long time, I have to say it's an innovative point in your plan, and that is the Wellington Basin. You haven't respected the exact location of the whole basin. Yet there's a great recall of what the basin is by that the linear water element that you have, which I understand is also a sustainable development water retention. Yeah.
And it runs throughout the site, so it
So
collects the water.
congratulations for that. And that, you see, it opens up the whole other site and allows you to do those nice lots with which you can build and get self-contained elements that good planning can be done. So congratulations. I was curious to hear you on your discussion on introducing the triplexes. I have to say the triplexes are, they startled me as to the mix it.
We wanted
What was your
townhomes,
reason?
but they would be too expensive, extremely expensive for the area. And we wanted to gear them towards family who could afford them, so we had to decide to have triplexes instead. And we also wanted to provide a lower density in that area because we weren't sure if the other side, there's also the M2U00003 which is passing, and it's not offering the great views. We would be looking for towards the highway for a considerable amount of years until they maybe take it down. And we also considered that it would be framed by the commercial development, which is possible for on the other side of the unit. So we tried to have some type of density which would go lower and then back up towards the theater.
You know, I'm curious to hear what the panel has to say about that.
Yeah, it's a 3-story garage right over here, which it serves the two 6-story units, which also has commercial on the first level. But it's commercial because of the possible future development on the other side, and there's also like the, is something the bag on the other side?
It's an artist studio.
Yes, the artist studio, so we felt that it could have some type of potential Main Street feel in a possible future.
I want to make a quick question on that, so I have a clarification. So the plexes are family oriented,
Yes.
and it's just frame construction, it's just blue frame construction. Tricky. Noise.
Well, that's,
Yeah.
but with new technology of maybe.
Maybe.
Well,
It's a
maybe.
caveat.
No, it's done. It's done. I mean,
It's possible. It's all possible.
It's happening all over the place.
What's interesting is you have a very coherent layout. First, your doors are great.
Yeah, the board.
The morphology really changes radically,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you have it's a very elegant plan in many ways, and then here you have something very different. And that was really because you wanted family units that you didn't think you could accommodate.
Well, we have family units in terms of like three-bedroom units throughout the site, but we also wanted units that you don't feel like you have to take the elevator to go to your apartment, and kids can just go downstairs and go to your own private backyard, and they have their own private parking spaces on both sides. So it's actually a neighborhood within a neighborhood.
It has like a tighter, it has like green lines that run around the way, so it's easy for.
And for example, there will be some value units located in this area as well, given that there is the environmental green space like that, but it's just more concentrated.
And for you, it's not a problem to have units just facing the railway. I mean, some people
No,
put parking
we decided
structures there, and some people.
We decided to just rate it up and put multi-trails throughout. So there would be activity, but it would just be, there's railroad tracks everywhere in Montreal. So eventually there's roads and people live there regardless. If you offer them amenities and you offer them great views, they're willing to give up the noise. Or if you provide them double layered fenestrations that mitigates the noise.
It's also an urban feature that exists, so it doesn't have to be seen as bad.
That's good. I think that's a good position to take because there's an argument to me that a train is much less of a nuisance than an auto route or
That
a
passes,
arterial road
we
because
live
of
on
noise.
campus every day,
Well,
all
it's not a
day.
freight train, it's a passenger
Yeah,
train.
exactly. I think I want to commend you for the clarity of the presentation. I'm especially grateful because I brought my design concentration students in, so they have a good sense of here's our mandate, here's what we set out to do. That's very effective. I think also I would echo the comments about taking a stance and doing something with the Wellington Basin. So my students take note, since we're talking about control and humility, which is our topic of the day. What's interesting there is you said, you're not going to say, oh my gosh, there's the basin, we can't touch it, we can't change it. We're going to embrace this, but we're going to modify it. We're going to do something interesting with it. So control and humility. Humility is a design position, which is don't touch the environment or minimize what you do to the environment. So I like the fact that you haven't been wimps about the basin. A fancy way of saying that.
Control and humility.
Interrogation, you decided to put the higher density, on the Machine Canal.
Yeah.
Creating your moneymaker, as you say, because you have, more stories, more units facing the good stuff. But in relation to the back part of it, doesn't that block like the back part of it? With sun, with views, it's gonna create like a huge fence?
Over here, there are 12 stories, and then you knock it down to 8 stories.
Yeah, but you're in the back, you don't see the city.
Yeah. But some people see the city, some people see the canal, some people see the park.
nice view
So regardless of where you are in the unit, and if you're on the lower levels, you see the inner courtyard. So we're trying to, yes, not everyone will get a view of the canal, but you see a view of something.
Couldn't you have scale it up the other way around, put the lower
We tried
density
that.
in the front and the higher in the back, so they both have view?
We tried that, and it was just.
I think it's a good question, and that might come out of a more intense design exercise. Where I think you do have an issue is, and you know what I think, the silos and the relationship of those buildings to the light.
There's no silos.
It's just
Well, that's
It's
fine.
flat.
Oh, okay.
It's a
I think
misting
that-
closet.
It's silos, it's just the footprint.
No silos.
No
When you look
silos.
down here, there's no silos.
Okay, no silos, I got it, thank you.
Even
Yeah.
then, maybe you did that also, is if you created the front here and you could have
Yeah.
these buildings having this kind of motif here, you might have had something more interesting. But
So it wouldn't change the
Variation.
density with the
it would
density.
change the density.
The density.
But what this plan does very nicely is link the Peel Basin with the Oak Street. These north-south walkways that we introduced it's a nice way to doing that. And perhaps you chose to go to the triplexes. There might have been other ways to do it, but just enhance those walkways and use those walkways as access to those units as well. Nice.
The social is only in the truck.
No, the social is here, all of these units.
You
You have
require
affordable here.
600 units of social.
No, 300 and.
375. That fits in these triplexes? These are trucks.
No, they're condos.
These are the triplexes.
And the gray ones are like 6 stories.
6 and 8.
Yeah, they're
You can see them, they're over here.
But you don't have your 15%. You only have 13%. Yeah, you don't get the permit for this.
What, they negotiate as they should.
But you could, and
We
you
could add a floor.
you can add a floor, you could add a floor and you get
Yeah.
the 15%.
Think,
Yeah, final comment and then we move on.
I think it's very original that you put a hotel on there, and I think what you mentioned that it's a boutique hotel. I don't know if you could talk a bit more about what kind of clients you're expecting in this hotel.
We feel that the hotel would be geared towards the people who come to Montreal who want to stay for longer. It's the business professionals who want to stay for 30 days or 2 weeks and who don't want to stay at a regular holiday. And they want an experience of a hotel that's catered towards their needs, and it's more of a home feeling when you're walking in.
More residents.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. There are some spelling mistakes in French, I'm not sure. Okay, thank you very much. We'll take a few minutes break. We have coffee and cookies in the kitchen.
You can grab a cookie, but look out for